Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Megacast. My name is Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe is here, and we are live now just after 10 o'clock for the live version of the show on 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com, Civic Center TV, Channel 15, Channel 99 on AT&T. Of course, online all over the place. And today, we really want to thank the fine people at the West Bloomfield Police Department for allowing us to broadcast live on their Facebook channel. So they have a huge audience. Tyler, how you doing today?
Yeah, we're glad to partner with them once again. Of course, they are one of our great community partners, helping to bring new information, important information to the community. Of course, with our help and our help with, and us also getting their help.
No, they've been doing a great job, and Kurt Lawson, the Chief Information Officer for West Bloomfield, and the Deputy Chief has been joining us. We'll talk to Chief Patton. Today we're going to talk some other departments, though, too. Chief John Fitzgerald of Keego Harbor is standing by. We'll talk to him in a couple of minutes. Before we do so, it's a busy day. Governor Whitmer is going to have another press conference at 11. I don't think we're going to have the big announcement like we had a couple of days ago last week with her shutting down most of the businesses here in the state, but we'll get an update from her, and if there's new information that we've not had, we'll get to that. Big information and news coming out of the counties. We're going to put the state fairgrounds at 8 Mile and Woodward back to work and begin doing coronavirus testing there. I believe more of the drive-through variety. We'll find out more about that today. We're going to talk to all of the folks here in the community, and we do have a new principal for West Bloomfield High School, and that's going to be Eric Pace. We're going to be in very good hands with Eric. Eric checks in with us today as we continue to get an update on what's going on with education. So a lot going on. Let's quickly check in with our team, though, and John Atwater, he is our Zoom technician and overall good tech guy. He is on Zoom with us now. John, how you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. Working from home today for the first time ever for me.
Well, yeah, we had to comply with the new Oakland County ruling about essential employees and qualifications, and you didn't make it past the test. Well, I mean, wow. We're a little conservative. Tough only crowd. Because your girlfriend is a nurse, so she is so exposed. We thought it was just in Tyler, in an abundance of safety, of caution, right? And let's just in an abundance of caution.
There we go. First
try. You're at home. So can you do everything at home that you were doing here?
Yeah, for the most part, it's just a little more phone calls, a little more text messaging, but everything I was doing in the studio, I should be able to do it.
All right, so you got as many people as possible are going to zoom in on the broadcast. John, you're doing a good job. Let's switch over now to Larry Nyland at his apartment in the West Bloomfield area. And Larry, welcome to the broadcast. You look comfy there today. How you feeling?
Well, yeah, we were talking a little earlier. Kind of had some sniffles this morning, a little congestion, but I did have the window open yesterday, and I am an Apple guy. We're going to chalk it up to that and not anything else as of now. So.
Well, you're at home, just you and the cat, so everything will be okay there anyway. But, I had a little sniffle yesterday, and it went away. And, I was outside. I went for a walk yesterday. It was so nice. Going to be, it's going to be warm for the rest of the week, but a little wet later on. But yesterday was so nice. It was great to get out. And, it's that spring stuff is floating around in the air. It isn't all coronavirus, so hopefully your sniffle and my little sniffle that wasn't there when I woke up this morning is just attributable to that little bit of allergy that we probably both have.
We will keep that hope alive.
All right. On the show today, Larry Nyland, what do we have coming up today?
We're going to kick things off today. We've got John Fitzgerald, who, if you watch the Keego Harbor meetings that we feature on our channel all the time, Police Chief John Fitzgerald is going to join us, talk about what's going on in Keego with the corona situation. After that, we're going to have the newly named principal of West Bloomfield High School, Eric Pace. Quite a great promotion for him, but quite a time for him to be named principal. So he's going to talk about the challenges of things going on with the public schooling here in West Bloomfield. After that, we're going to be joined by Wensdy. She has a very unique name, Wensdy Von Buskirk. She's the co-owner of Pure Barre Fitness Center here in West Bloomfield, and she's going to be joining us from her home studio, actually, just talk about how people can stay in shape and what her business is doing to keep business going during this time. After that, our Carry Out Club feature today is going to be the grill in Sylvan Lake, and Vicky, the owner over there, is going to join us. And again, at 11 o'clock, we're going to try to join a little bit of Gretchen Whitmer's speech. And then after that, we're going to try to hook up with a guy named Chad Ever from Ever Studios here in West Bloomfield, where he's working with getting restaurants online or like that during these times.
Is that your computer sound that's making all that noise?
I forgot to silence my phone, and I'm getting text messages.
Everyone's watching you on the Megacast, and they want to say, "Hey, Larry, you look good on the Megacast today." So, all right.
I was just about to send them one of those.
You silence your phone. Tyler and I are really busy in here because every day we got to come in here and clean the studio up. You know, we got our wipes out. Tyler, you got yours there?
Oh, I've been wiping, Dave.
All right, well, we wipe it all down. We want to make sure we really, I don't know about you, Tyler, but I've been seeing the reports from some of the people that have been getting sick, and, you know, they are doing a good job taking care of people, but I prefer not to get this thing. I really would. So we're doing all we can to prevent it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that that's a hot take at all, Dave. I too would prefer not to get the coronavirus.
All right, we are going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. It is the Megacast. Basically, if you're just tuning in, we are here every day, Monday through Friday. We broadcast live from 10 until noon, and then it repeats all day on both Civic Center TV, Lakes FM, and all of our other media outlets. Today, we are also on Facebook on the West Bloomfield Police Department Facebook page. So if you're looking for more of a local twist to all the coronavirus information, you've come to the right spot. We talk to the police department, the fire department, local officials. We have our Carry Out Club. We'll help you get connected with restaurants. We have a ton of local information on our website. Adam and the web crew, Adam and Charlie and the web crew, doing a great job. We'll bring all that to you and show you where that is and a whole lot more. So it's just our daily community get-together here to make sure that we're doing all we can to share you all the critical information. And as Chief Lynn said of the fire department a couple of days ago, the coronavirus is here in West Bloomfield. So what we're doing right now at this communication, I think it's therapeutic, but it's also very important. You'll get a lot of very important information. So we are going to take a quick break. Tyler, you good for a quick break? And we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Chief John Fitzgerald of the Keego Harbor Police Department joins us when we return. This is the Megacast. You're watching it on Civic Center TV, Channel 15, Channel 99 on AT&T, listening on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com, and we'll be right back.
89.3 Lakes FM is your home for the latest news updates regarding COVID-19 in West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Megacast is live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, where our own Dave Scott talks with locals ranging from business owners to municipal personalities. To tune in to the Megacast, listen on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com, or watch on Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, and on the web at civiccentertv.com. Keeping you connected in West Bloomfield during the coronavirus outbreak.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
89.3 Lakes FM.
Walking into the pet store, you see big cages filled with the cutest puppies. You walk past the puppies, wishing you could bring one home, but you don't consider where they have to call home. Pet store animals almost always come from animal mills, facilities where animals live in overcrowded cages and more end up dead than sold. This industry is cruel, yet so little is said about it. You can stop it by adopting instead of buying pets and encouraging others to do so. Choose adoption. Choose giving puppies the home they deserve. This message is brought to you by the 89.3 Lakes FM and the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program.
All right, welcome back to the Megacast. Dave Scott along with Tyler Keefe. We are here in our Lakes FM studios. We thank you very much for joining us. 6 feet. 6 feet. Stay over.
Oh,
stay
6 feet. Oh, man.
Stay on your side of the.
I just jumped on my chair.
Oh, man. It's hard. You know, the two things that are hard, keeping that 6 foot distance, especially like yesterday, I'm out for a walk, and I did venture into the grocery store. Is that getting scarier for you now? Now I go in, and it's like, I'm looking at everybody a little bit closer in the grocery. And this one guy, we'll get to Chief Fitzgerald in a minute. This one guy's following me at the store yesterday, and every time I turn one way, kind of like back in his direction, he takes off and runs in the other direction. So I know I'm laughing and it's serious, but to me, it feels different. It felt different yesterday.
Yeah, and you're laughing because it is different. You're not used to someone, you're walking in the same direction as someone. Maybe you're getting a lot of the same items as them at the store, and they're running away from you. But that's as we have in our vocabulary list, the new normal.
It is.
But I've been trying to avoid going to the grocery store until I absolutely have to. I probably will within the next couple of days, but it's going to be one of those situations where all right, what do I really need? Go in, get it, and get out.
All right, joining us on the line now is Chief John Fitzgerald of the Keego Harbor Police Department. And, Chief, thank you very much for joining us on the Megacast today.
Good morning, Dave. Glad to be here.
Good to have you. How are things going in Keego Harbor, Chief?
Things are going along, just like you guys are just speaking about now, that people are a little bit nervous. People are cautious, and that's a good thing, that they're being more cautious than how this all started. Everybody kind of took it lightly, but I think things are sinking in now, and that's the kind of thing that's going to help in the end, that you keep your distances, that you wipe down your surfaces, you try not to touch things. Everything they've been telling us, more people are doing, which is, I think, the thing that's going to help us get through this in the end, that you do what you're supposed to do to keep clean and keep clear.
So you're out in the community. Obviously, you and the officers in Keego are out in the community. Do you get a sense that traffic is down, people are staying at home, they are following the Oakland County and the governor's orders and recommendations?
Yeah, for the most part, traffic is way down. What's nice is we haven't had an increase in complaints that you might think with the people being home. I think people are being a little nicer to each other, and that's what you got to do too. You put up a little more from each other and try to be better for each other, and it keeps it easier on us. We're not having I thought we'd be running around to more runs on different things, and so far so good. I like the response that Keego Harbor residents have been giving, and hopefully the same thing's going with the rest of our Tri-City and West Bloomfield area.
Well, I think so, and I think for the most part, in talking to the other first responders, and we're gonna check in with Chief Flynn at the fire department in just a couple of minutes here. But in talking to the other first responders, I think we're doing okay through the 911 center. For the most part, I think people are calling in when they have a problem, and we are able to triage there. Most of the departments are able to triage, what needs an immediate response and what it maybe needs something a little bit different.
Correct, and that's one thing we've changed here too, is we're going to take, and it's not as personal, and we're a small town department. We like to be there for our citizens face to face.
Sure.
But at this period in time, we've changed some of our protocols. The dispatch is going to screen some calls and things that we don't have to go to your house on that we can do over the phone. We're going to do over on the phone, and it's for the safety of you guys at your house and the safety of our officers and our guys' family, because with this pandemic going on, the coronavirus, some people don't know that they have it. There's no symptoms, so you don't know if maybe our guy's bringing it in because he doesn't know he has it, or maybe you have it, and this is a safer way to do it. We're not trying to be less personal. We're not scared to go into your place. It's just the best way to do it to help prevent spread.
Chief John Fitzgerald, Keego Harbor Chief of Police. Are you talking to the other departments? You say you're a small department, and you're surrounded by, some bigger communities, Pontiac, West Bloomfield, Southfield, some of the other communities, obviously Detroit. Are you talking to the other police chiefs, and are you guys sharing notes and having conversations?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, our two neighboring departments that we work very well with and work often with, Orchard Lake PD and Sylvan Lake PD, we share a little bit of equipment. We back each other up on the road. The chiefs, we're talking about how we can help each other out, what we have to do. Also, I'm a member of the board of the Oakland County Chiefs of Police Association. The Chiefs of Police Association is working with the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police, talking to the state police, the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, and all the chiefs, and we're trying to put in a plan. Now, I'm going to say the fire department does this great. They're great on a plan and response and command centers. And we're working on trying to follow their lead on how they have a way of distributing their guys and mutual aid with each other. We're a couple steps behind them because they've been working on this forever, but the police departments are working together and trying to figure out how to help each other out.
All right, I think we can get Greg Flynn here in Zoom in a couple of minutes, the fire chief, so he'll probably be happy to hear your kind words for the work and leadership from the fire department. I think they're doing a great job, too. Let's talk about... Go ahead.
They are, and there's always that little rivalry between the police and the fire, but that's a good-natured thing, like something between the Army and the Marines. We have that rivalry, but we know that we can count on each other when we got to have each other's backs, and they're doing a great job.
All right, well, they really are. It's your job in Keego, like it is in West Bloomfield, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, to enforce these orders that have been handed down by the county, by the federal government in some cases, and a lot of them from the state. How's that going? And there's got to be a balance there, I'm sure. Can you tell us how that's going, Chief?
It's interesting. I took a call today about somebody that wanted to know, can he do this? And when I found out that he was a resident of another city, I said, the way the orders came down from the state, they're a little bit complicated when you read through them. And I think that you hate to have people interpret things different between different borders, city to city, county to county, but each department is going to look at it and go, well, this is a critical infrastructure job. That guy's got to get to work. So we're not going to harass the guy that's driving through Keego to go to his job in Waterford. Waterford's going to have to look at it and see if that's, a critical job that has to be done. We're trying to be helpful, not demanding on people. If we see them playing on the playground equipment, there's an order, no playground. You can't be on the playground equipment. Our officer will go over and tell them you have to clear out. You can use the park. You just can't use the stuff where you touch. Everybody's going to be touching. You can't play basketball. It's a contact sport. But please walk, enjoy the fresh air, go out and enjoy the sunshine. Get out of your house. We'll look at businesses as things come in. Is this critical? But you have to remember, some people have been calling us about a business. But why are they open? That's not critical. And well, it's a supply chain thing. You have to look beyond what that business does there. Are they supporting a business that is a critical infrastructure job that we have to have? So you kind of read each case as it comes up. And if you're violating, you shouldn't be open, you shouldn't have customers coming in, what may happen is we may just take a report, and when this all clears out, then they'll start with prosecutions or dealings with business licenses and liquor licenses. So police yourselves, because you want to stop that spread as much as you should want to stop that spread as much as all the rest of us do too. So just try and follow the rules, and I know it's tough for all of us to get through, but we got to help each other here.
All right, Chief John Fitzgerald of the Keego Harbor Police Department. Anything else you'd like to add today that folks in Keego Harbor, maybe people listening across our entire area, may benefit from?
You know what? We're still out here, the police department, the fire department, your governments. We're doing everything we can. We're trying to follow the rules. Call us if you need us. We're going to be here. And remember, give each other a little more space, both physically and in terms of tolerance, because we're all a little bit on edge. Be kind to each other. I love seeing these food banks helping each other, and like the Jacket Club at Keego Harbor is continually trying to come up with food to help those that are out of work right now. So keep helping each other out. We're going to get through this thing. Is it going to be a few weeks? Is it going to be a couple months? We don't know, but we're going to work together through it.
All right, Chief, and I'm on your Facebook page. I'm going to put it on the broadcast so people can see it. You mentioned to me before we were on the air today that there's a lot of really helpful information here. Just go to the Facebook page for the Keego Harbor Police Department. Clearly, City Hall is closed. Services are available. Phone lines are being answered. And you've got a notice here to that fact and all the telephone numbers and everything. And we'll get this up on our website as well. But nice job with your Facebook page and some really interesting pictures to look at there too.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And I'd say don't just look at our Facebook, because we keep it up as much as we can, but West Bloomfield has an outstanding one, Bloomfield Township PD, they all put a lot of good information out there. And then when you get done looking at this stuff, tell you what, go turn some music on so you're not hearing the news over and over.
Yeah, you get
Go turn on some music and try and kick back and relax and enjoy your time at home with your family.
All right, well, very, very well said, Chief John Fitzgerald. And just so you know, this is a good moment for you, because we are on the Facebook page of the broadcast today, is on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield Police Department. So probably for the first time ever, the Keego Harbor Police Department Facebook page is now on the West Bloomfield Police Department Facebook page. So
good news. Those guys are good guys.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. You're a good guy, too. And thank you for keeping us safe. And we salute all the first responders, especially those right in our neighborhood, doing a good job. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Dave. Everybody stay safe.
All right. He is Chief John Fitzgerald, Tyler, doing a really, really good job from the Keego Harbor Police Department. We really appreciate him checking in. Checking in now from the West Bloomfield Fire Department is Chief Greg Flynn. And, Chief, can you hear me? We can see you.
Okay, loud and clear, Dave. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us here, Dad. You probably didn't hear it because I know you were busy, but we just had Chief John Fitzgerald on from Keego Harbor singing the praise of the Tri-City Fire Department and the West Bloomfield Fire Department, all you're doing, and he said you're setting a really good example for all the other first responders in our area.
Right. No, and I heard Chief Fitzgerald just at the end there, but one of his biggest dreams about one day being a firefighter, and that's a big dream for a lot of police officers out there. So
Yeah. It definitely is that Army Navy thing, isn't it? How you doing today? How you feeling?
Well, Dave, so many of these interviews, I really have tried to keep things very upbeat, and I want to try to deliver that today, but unfortunately, the virus is definitely impacting West Bloomfield. It's impacting the greater West Bloomfield area, actually. Our friends in Southfield, our friends in Farmington Hills, West Bloomfield, we are seeing a clear acceleration in the number of cases of COVID positive screenings. Now, remember, our dispatchers are our front line, so they're asking those travel questions, fever, cough, sore throat. And we're hearing call after call after call coming in positive for those signs and symptoms prior to our paramedics arriving on the scene.
So obviously it's very frustrating to hear, but it's good to know that we have the information, and it's sobering, but I appreciate you sharing that with us very honestly. We've seen the reports on the state website that show Oakland County is one of the most prolific counties for the coronavirus at this point. Do you have any information, anecdotal or otherwise, as to how West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, I think you already said it a little bit, but maybe you want to double down on where you think we are relative to the other communities in Oakland County?
Well, I think an informed community is a community that can respond appropriately in times like this. And I can't stress to you enough, you watch the international news, the national news, and you hear people say, make sure you stay home. I'm telling you, as your fire chief for Orchard Lake, Keego, Sylvan, West Bloomfield, and as a colleague to the Oakway Mutual Aid Group, the 9 other biggest fire departments in Oakland County, stay home. It's only going to work if our residents shelter in place, and if they do go out, to keep the social distancing, and wash your hands and avoid touching your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. It is here. One of the things, Dave, that's very important for folks to realize, when you see these numbers come out, these are the numbers of tested, hospitalized folks. What I'm telling you is, from the boots on the street, what we're seeing out there is more than what they're seeing in the hospital, right? So the numbers are bigger than what you're seeing. That's not a reason for alarm. That's a reason to comply with what local health officials, Executive Coulter and his team at Oakland County, who are doing a fantastic job. Listen, it's real, and we need to follow their direction.
Chief Greg Flynn with us here on the Megacast today, Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe, and you joining us on Civic Center TV and on Lakes FM and all of our outlets. And a big thank you today to the West Bloomfield Police Department, whose 6,000 Facebook followers are all checking in, and we appreciate you tuning in and being a part of it. So, okay, so the coronavirus is here, Chief. We hear that. How is it going? What kind of calls are you getting, and how is your staff? What kind of things are you responding to? What's working? What's not working? Where do you need help from us?
I appreciate that question, Dave. So the firefighter paramedics are doing their job well. Anybody thinks that the firefighters, the paramedics, the healthcare providers, that this isn't paying a toll on them, it truly is. And think to yourself, as we're telling everyone to stay home, stay in your house, shelter in place. You're protected. You're not having any signs and symptoms. And then we're going to say to a group of people, we want you to go to all the other people that are coughing, have sore throats, are running high fevers, and are having shortness of breath. And we want you to go in and take care of those folks. And at the end of your shift, we want you to go home to your family. So those are stressful things. It's a stressful time. And I think it's important that our community recognize that. That's not because they're asking for anything special. That's just because that's reality. And when we say thank you and we see the support that we get from this community, that's what lifts them up. And I was so thrilled that I think it was a day or two ago that you had a counselor or someone on the emotional wellness side of things. That's so important. The nutrition side of things is so important, as all these folks are in their homes and going a little bit stir crazy. These are things that are important to them within our community, but it's a very important part inside the engine house. And that mealtime is different for us. We're used to sitting right next to each other, and now they're spread out in the kitchen when they're eating. We're a very social group, firefighters are, and we're going against everything that they're used to doing, which is a togetherness, a real camaraderie, and we're spreading that out. And that's challenging, and we're recognizing that, and we're working as a team to put things in place to support them and provide them the support for them and their families.
Chief Greg Flynn joining us on the Megacast here on Lakes FM and on Civic Center TV. Chief, we've all seen the reports. Beaumont has been out saying in the media, in public, that they're near capacity and they've got their hands full. Now, we're out grabbing lunch the other day, our Carry Out Club, and we're keeping our distance and doing everything, but supporting the local restaurants. And we run into one of the Beaumont doctors. Impromptu interview. He said that the nurses are absolutely heroes inside the hospitals right now. But he also said, yeah, they're running at capacity, but they're getting the job done. So just any thoughts that you have about how things might be going at the hospitals here in West Bloomfield?
We speak regularly with the team over at Henry Ford West Bloomfield, and I speak for all the firefighters here and for a grateful township board and residents for the great work that Henry Ford Hospital here in West Bloomfield is doing. Those healthcare providers are the compassion and the care that they provide never ceases to amaze me, and now even more than ever. The integration of our team with their team is something that I know both the hospital administration and the fire administration are very proud of. But again, back to my previous comments, the kindness that we talk about, just saying hello. I think Starbucks put something out where they're offering some healthcare providers a free cup of coffee. It goes a long way. And those little acts of kindness mean a lot to people that are working in environments that literally are full of the virus. And they're doing it because it's a calling. They're doing it because someone needs to, and we're grateful for the service of those providers.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. We were going to have Eric Wallace from Henry Ford on today, but he's been busy. National media has been calling here too, so I understand from reports they've got things going on in the parking lot out there, and they're doing all they can to triage, get the people in the hospital that need to be, and help out the other folks as well. They're doing a good job. We'll find out more details when we talk to Eric Wallace likely tomorrow here on the Megacast. But no, they have their hands full right there, and we're really lucky to have them and then all the local doctors in and around West Bloomfield in the area who are doing a really good job. Okay, so how about your bullet point checklist of the hand washing and the other stuff that we need to do before we say so long, Chief?
Well, I think you've probably hit on those, and you're good at being an advocate for that, Dave. And as I catch the beginning and the end of interviews, I want to thank you and your staff again for what you're doing to carry this message.
Thank you.
There's value in a local message. There's value when it's the faces that we see when we're at Kroger and we're at the Starbucks and we're in the community, that those are the same faces that are saying wash your hands. So thank you and your team for doing that. Where we need some help, though, we need some help in our friends. I talked to Director Hopala over at the Water Resources here in the township. And some of us in our efforts to sanitize and clean and disinfect, we're causing some unintended consequences by flushing Clorox wipes into our sanitary system, flushable wipes into the sanitary system. This is not the place for them. They can cause blockages and strain on the system. So that's something that's popped up on our radar that I want to reinforce today, that as you're disinfecting, while many things can go down the toilet with a flush, they shouldn't.
I got a good piece of advice. I can help with this one because I'm a boater, and we got a lot of lakes around here. And any boater who's ever been on a boat with a head in it, they maybe have seen this sign in the bathroom, and it says, "Don't put anything in the toilet that you've not eaten first." right? Then that'll be safe, because these things right here, they are definitely a problem. We're hearing from the water departments that are clogging it up. Last thing we want right now is a bunch of workers have to go out and clean out our sewers because of all these wipes. So if you haven't eaten it, don't put it in the toilet, right? For the most part.
So that's a big part of it. And another area that I want to touch on is I see as I'm out and about in the community, doing the things that we're doing, or I'm watching some video of folks, I see many people wearing gloves. And just imagine this. So you go into Costco or wherever it is that you're shopping, and you put on your gloves and you go all through the store, touching everything in the store, touching the cart. Then you touch your face with those gloves, or you touch something else. Then you go back to your car and you're still wearing your gloves and you're touching your car. You're just walking around with dirty hands. Your hands underneath the gloves may be clean, but everywhere that you're touching with those gloves, that you're not replacing those gloves or taking them off, it's dirty. So if you ever watch a healthcare provider as they move from patient to patient, they doff the gloves, they take them off and change them out. And what I'm seeing is people aren't changing them. So all they're doing is transmitting through contact transmission. If there is virus, they're just moving it around, no different than you would with your hands. They're just using gloves. So that's why we come back to the core principles of good hand washing is the best defense. I know that oftentimes people think more is better, but in this case, doing more and not understanding how to use those tools can actually cause more harm. So the lesson to take away from today is don't flush what you didn't eat. And if you're going to use gloves, you need to use them correctly. And that should be frequent change out with exam gloves.
And we don't really get sick. I see people doing it in the stores. You're absolutely right. We are not going to get sick because we touched something with a virus on it and it transmitted to us through our skin on our hands. We're going to get sick because we touched something and then we did this, which I'm not going to do, right? And that's, so your hands, they don't need gloves. Just wash the darn things and then you're all set. Great. But I mean, I was looking for gloves today because I see everybody else wearing them. So excellent advice, Chief. Thank you.
Well, and you know, Dave, it's like anything when you go on these things, we'll probably get some hits on some social media about that with some critics having a different opinion. But just look at the science. Look at what makes logical sense to you. If you're going to use the tool, all we're asking is that you use it appropriately, and that's going to, again, keep the community the safest.
All right. Well done, Chief. Thank you very much. We got to run along. Hey, guess what? Eric Pace is the new principal at West Bloomfield High School. We're going to talk to him in a moment. You can even say congratulations to him. I know you. I'm sure you've run into him a number of times around the community. So he's going to do
a big congratulations. We're glad to have him, and I need to get into that high school and get some touchless thermometers if I can. That's a request that we have out there.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him when we talk to him in a minute, and I'll get the word back to you. How's that?
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Greg Flynn, Fire Chief, here on Civic Center TV and Lakes FM. We're going to take a quick break. Eric Pace is with us, new principal at West Bloomfield High School. When we return, you are listening to and watching the Megacast on Civic Center TV, channel 15 and 99 on AT&T at civiccentertv.com. And also joining us right here on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com. Why go to a break? Look at this guy. He is Johnny on the spot. Looks like he's ready to go already. Eric Pace joining us. Principal Pace. That sounds good. I like the sound of that. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dave. Thanks for having me.
So congratulations in your role as the new principal at West Bloomfield High School. And wow, do you start this job at a challenging time?
Yeah, it's unprecedented and unique, to say the least, but, you know, it's what it is. And we've got a community of learners and a community at large that we need to lead and take care of, so I'm happy to do it.
So before we get into any other business, I don't know if you heard Chief Flynn there a minute ago, but he said if you have any touchless thermometers that the fire department could borrow from you for a little while, he would really appreciate it. So I don't know if you can check on that or not, but just wanted to relay the word.
Unfortunately, we don't have any touchless thermometers, but we have been looking through our supply of gloves and seeing if there's anything in terms of masks within our science labs. I don't think we have masks, but we are looking through our supply of gloves.
You know, that's what everyone's doing in the community, seeing how they can help each other out. You've seen nationally the anesthesiologists, maybe their machines could work as respirators, and where everyone's trying to help everybody out. So I know the spirit of goodwill and help is right there, and we appreciate it, Eric. So, we've talked to Dr. Hill. We talked to a teacher yesterday. How's it going with the students right now?
It's going pretty good. We were fortunate to have a little bit of foresight in this and start planning a couple weeks ago. We had a learning design team meeting on the Wednesday before the school closure, where we started to see the tea leaves coming together and decided to make a planning session for our teachers on Friday the 13th, of course, where we spent the day looking at what online learning may look like and allowing our students and our teachers opportunities to have cohesive messaging, planning, and then we were able to get things together for the 2 weeks leading up to spring break.
So I heard in some other media reports today that the legislature is working on fixing this problem with accreditation of the learning that's happening online right now. And they're talking about a program that would at least provide accreditation to graduating seniors. And they're working on a program. So I know, but for the people listening, this whole situation is not falling on deaf ears in Lansing. And we're going to hear from the governor in a couple of minutes. Maybe we'll hear from her more on that. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that issue?
Yeah, so we, in our community in West Bloomfield, I think we have the reputation around the state of being, and rightfully so, being an amazing community of individuals who are advocates and who want to make sure that we're taking care of everybody, from our students to our citizens, our senior citizens, everybody. And we echo that within the schools. So we want to make sure that students have access to high quality learning, even if they're not right in front of us. And what I think the state may not understand, but we're working to help them understand, is that what makes the online learning work isn't necessarily just access and having the content available, but it's the relationships with the people. So it's the 7 and 8 months that we've spent in school that's created this camaraderie that the fire chief had just talked about, of togetherness that helps us support each other. So we're seeing better attendance actually than we saw in person right before we went out. We're seeing high engagement and high quality work from our students, and we're actually in a planning session right now for how we're going to continue this after our spring break. We're advocating with the state and with the governor directly, and I agree with you. I think they're doing some things right now behind closed doors that will hopefully lead to our students getting credit and getting their time counted.
Eric Pace is the new principal of West Bloomfield High School, coming in at a challenging time. I'm Dave Scott. Tyler Keefe with us as well here in our Lakes FM studio. And Pat Watson, we should give a nod to him. I'm sure you're keeping in touch with him. Pat Watson, former principal, did a great job, is now the new superintendent of schools in Bloomfield Hills. You've been talking to Pat at all, Eric?
Yeah, we talk frequently. We try and make sure, we have neighboring school districts, so make sure we're in communication with one another. I know Dr. Hill, our superintendent's been in communication with him and other neighboring superintendents as well, just to make sure that we're not leaving any stone unturned. This is something that's never been done before, and there may not be a universal solution that's one right way, but there's probably a lot of things we can learn from each other on mistakes and speed bumps. So we're keeping in constant communication and making sure we're doing what's best for our students.
Yeah, and we can talk to Dr. Hill about this too, but any discussion or thought from the West Bloomfield School District side about how you would like to see the governor act with regard to opening the buildings? I mean, from where I look, and after what Chief Lynn just said, I can't imagine that that's even on anyone's radar right now, but I know there's people want to know, the discussion's out there, so we might as well chat about it.
Yeah, great question. Although I was a science teacher, I'm definitely not a scientist or a medical professional. So what we're doing is taking guidance from our governor and from the professionals out there on what's coming next. So the way we're doing it is we're planning today for the next month and making sure that we're best prepared with our teachers and students for a month upcoming. Now, we may not need all that planning, or maybe we do, and we just want to make sure we have everything set and ready to go. And then in a few more weeks, if need be, we'll plan for the following month. So just trying to stay a couple weeks ahead of those closures and make sure that we're best prepared, and then we'll take guidance from the governor.
All right. Well, we'll hear from her in a couple of minutes. Maybe she'll have some words on that subject today for the state of Michigan. We'll wait and see. Eric, I want to thank you also for the great job you and your 4 student ambassadors did at our recent State of the Communities broadcast at Abbott. There was no audience there, unfortunately, but they did a great job. A ton of people are watching it online. You did a great job. Students did a great job. I'm thinking we've heard from you, teachers, administration. The only thing we haven't heard from is students, so maybe we should connect with your ambassadors, see if we can get them zoomed up and get them on the air. But they did a great job, and it just in interacting with the students at West Bloomfield schools through our football broadcasts and the other things we do, and then the ambassadors that we had out, I'm just impressed every time I'm around the students in our school district.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Dave. It's such a unique community, and one that I'm so proud to be a part of. And you're right, those students did such a good job. It never hurts when your students can go out there and help you look good. But yeah, I'm sure they'd be happy to come out and talk to you about their experiences with online learning.
All right, so just to reaffirm as we say goodbye, the West Bloomfield schools and our neighboring schools are feeding people. We've gotten computers out to people. We're doing online learning. We are the staffs are getting paid. Things seem to be running pretty well. The students are getting educated, and you guys just put all that together so quickly, and it all seems to be running really, really well. So good job, Eric Pace.
Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it. We put a lot of work in behind closed doors to make sure that we're providing something that's routine and normal for our students. There's nothing in the world right now that feels normal. So we want to make sure that we can provide that sense of stability for them.
All right. Anything you want to say as we say so long to any students, parents, people in the community? Any message for them at all?
Yeah, I just want to say that we appreciate you. We know that just like in my house, I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. My wife's a teacher, and we are working to educate our own children while we're handling this at home. And I know we probably have it easier than most. So, whatever you're doing, it is your best job, and we appreciate that. And we want to say thank you to those that are in the hospitals, in the healthcare profession, our first responders, police and fire and medics. It's you guys that are helping make this work for us. And I also don't want to forget our pharmacists and our grocery store workers that are helping supply for all of us.
All right, Eric. When we get a chance and things calm down, we'll talk a little bit more about your new role as principal at West Bloomfield High School. Important role in our community, and I know you're going to do a great job. Thank you very much for joining us on the Megacast today.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, Eric Pace. Let me hit the right button there. Eric Pace, Tyler, doing a really good job at West Bloomfield High School. The new principal, he'll be fine. And I wouldn't want to start the job on a day like today, but he'll be fine.
It's a tough time. Yeah, it's got to be a very tough time to start that new position. But I mean, what better trial by fire to get you comfortable with the job than some unprecedented starting time like this.
Okay, we're going to take a very quick break, 30 seconds, and we will be right back. I got to swab the table down here, clean things up a little bit, and get just a quick break, and we will be back. You're listening to 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com, and you're watching on Civic Center TV, Channel 15, Comcast Channel 99 on AT&T. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Dave Scott. He's Tyler Keefe, and we will be right back.
89.3 Lakes FM is your home for the latest news updates regarding COVID-19 in West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Megacast is live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, where our own Dave Scott talks with locals ranging from business owners to municipal personalities. To tune in to the Megacast, listen on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com, or watch on Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, and on the web at civiccentertv.com. Keeping you connected in West Bloomfield during the coronavirus outbreak. 89.3 Lakes FM.
All right, thank you very much for joining us, Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe. So we are in the studio, a lot of buttons and things we need to get connected. Tyler, if I was at home today, and I could be, maybe tomorrow, maybe won't have to at some point, I'd have my broadcast board, kind of like what you see here. It'd be similar to what we have in here. I do have a microphone and a computer to do all that stuff. I'd have that all set up. Now, if I was in the fitness business, my home office might look like Wensdy's home office right there. Hi, Wensdy. How you doing today? Thank you for joining us here on the Megacast. Good to have you.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Tyler. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
So I just want to get this right. We've not had the pleasure of meeting in person. I look forward to that when times are better. Wensdy, Wensdy. Am I saying that right?
It's Wensdy.
Wensdy.
And it was my mom's idea to add an S to her name, which is Wendy. So it's Wensdy.
I like that. Wensdy. You have something unique, and that it does make it a lot. You got to be careful. It makes it a lot easier to find you on Facebook, right? Because there probably aren't too many of you.
No, I can't hide.
And Wensdy von Buskirk, and you are the owner of Pure Barre in West Bloomfield, workout facility. Tell us about your facility, and then we want to hear what people are doing right now to stay in shape.
Well, we are a Barre fitness studio. I co-own the studio with my partner, Sheila. We've been open for just about 2 years, and it's isometric, low impact, total body exercise. We use the ballet bar for support as we work on our core. It's just full body workout. It's great for all ages and all fitness levels. And we've had a really great reception since we've opened here in West Bloomfield.
All right. See, when you said you were a Barre fitness facility, silly me, my brain goes, oh, can I get a scotch and water? That's not the kind of bar you're talking about. You're talking about the bar that's like right behind you, right?
Yes. So the ballet bar is used obviously in ballet. There's no dance involved in Pure Barre, but we do use the bar and we use basic ballet positioning to, lift, tone, and burn, as we say.
So that you don't have like big weight machines. You're not doing free weights. You're not doing any of that. When people come to your studio, I'm really looking forward to coming there after this. But when people come to your studio, you got a facility kind of like your home there, but bigger, and you've got bars, and you work with the bars attached to the wall to achieve the fitness goals. I assume that's right.
We use a small platform. We have 3 different classes that we offer when the studio is open.
So what can people do at home, okay? And not everybody's got a bar attached to their wall. Maybe they have something that they could use like it. But, given your unique expertise, what can we be doing during the coronavirus as we're isolated in our homes to stay in shape?
Well, first of all, moving your body is just so important for not only physical health, but mental health. There's a lot of anxiety and uncertainty right now. It's really easy to get down, to feel isolated. So I would say any type of movement is great. Go for a walk, go for a bike ride. You don't have to have a home studio to move. Just stretching, waking up, reaching, just keeping your body moving. A lot of our clients are at home now. We've pivoted to do some live stream classes, and our clients are sharing photos of themselves working in their living room with their little kids crawling all over them or working out beside them. It is challenging to find that space in your home to work out, but you don't have to have any rules. Just find a way to move and stay active. Get up, get your workout gear on, fill up your water bottle, call a friend, set a time, and just do it.
So what do you do in your streaming broadcast? Kind of curious. How's that working, and what have you been doing?
Well, it's been really interesting because it wasn't part of our business model before, but we are part of a large corporation. There are 500 Pure Barre studios in the country, more than. And it's really interesting because the company was actually founded in Birmingham, Michigan, about 10 years ago now, and it has grown exponentially. And almost immediately after studios were forced to close, we started live streaming classes across the country, and our corporate office issued guidelines to facilitate that and allow that new business model to take effect really almost immediately. So we're using Facebook Live. We created a members only group, and not only can we interact there and offer each other that community that we all love, and that's why we love group fitness, is we like that motivation. and camaraderie and enthusiasm, inspiration that we draw from each other. So we facilitated this Facebook group and we live stream in there. Our corporate office is also live streaming. And it's been really interesting to see the feedback. Everybody's really grateful that they can keep their routine going and still connect in this new way.
Wensdy von Buskirk, the owner of Pure Barre in West Bloomfield, joining us via Zoom. Not only are you a great trainer, but, you're a very savvy business person. I respect what you're doing. You've taken a lemon, you've turned it into lemonade. You got a smile on your face. You're ready to go. You're not going to let this thing stop you. You're trying to help people in the community. And these are the kind of stories that we're trying to tell. Yes, we need to let you know that the fire chief says the coronavirus is here. We got to be careful and what to wash, what not, what to do. But it's stories like yours that really are going to help us get through this. And I applaud what you're doing. I'm so curious. We probably didn't warn you about this, but I'm so curious about that stuff that you've got behind you. I don't know if there's any way you can tell us what you do. We didn't ask you to do a demonstration here on TV. I don't want to put you on the spot, but just kind of tell us real quickly before we say so long what's going on there with you.
I don't know if I have the room to demo. This would be our wide second position, coming up onto our tippy toes, reaching tall, and we do small pulses, knees pressing back, arm movements. This is about as high impact as it gets here. And like I said, we are a total body workout, lots of balance, focus. And if you want to check us out, you can join our Pure Barre West Bloomfield Facebook page and we'll hook you up with a workout.
That was really good. You did exactly what we wanted. You kind of see it. So can a 60-year-old overweight fat guy like me do this? Do you have to be you obviously are in good shape and you've probably done some dance. If you don't do dance and all that stuff, can we try and do this and have some fun? It sounds like a fun thing to do.
Well, Dave, I have to admit, our clientele is about 99.9% women. We do get the occasional spouse that gives it a try. And we use these tiny weights, 2-pound, 3-pound weights. So when the guys come in, they're like, oh, wow, that's silly. Then they start working out with us and they realize these things get really heavy. So
I bet they
you're
do.
Welcome to try, though. And like I said, it really is for all ages and fitness levels, and to be, give it a try.
All right. I wouldn't hold your breath that I'm going to be over there right after, but you never know. So, hey, thank you so much. Tyler, what do you think? You want to try it out?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I try to add as much balance and coordination work as I possibly can into my routine, and it's a lot tougher than it looks on the surface, Dave.
All right. Wensdy, thank you very much for joining us. Really good to have you with us. Wensdy von Buskirk.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister, I'll tell you. Owner of Pure Barre in West Bloomfield. Best to you. Be well. Hope everyone in your family is okay, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, another great story here in West Bloomfield, Tyler Keefe. Somebody else just making it happen each and every day. We are going to take a very quick break here. We'll be right back. The governor should be starting her press conference right around 11 o'clock, and we want to tune in. We will share that with you as long as it continues to be relevant. This is the Megacast. I'm Dave Scott. He's Tyler Keefe. We'll be back in just a moment.
89.3 Lakes FM. Live on Thursday's Megacast on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM, we are joined by Wensdy Buskirk, owner of Pure Barre West Bloomfield, followed by Chad Evers from Evers Studios. We will also be live on the West Bloomfield Police Department's Facebook page. Thursday on the Megacast, keeping you connected in West Bloomfield during the coronavirus outbreak on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Each of us have a role to play in stopping the spread of COVID-19. Keeping a distance of at least 6 feet
will slow the community spread of COVID-19. I can help.
I can help.
I can help by washing my hands.
Using warm water and soap for 20 seconds.
And drying my hands with paper towel multiple times throughout the day.
Be sure to cover your cough using your elbow.
In an effort to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose.
Not feeling well?
Have a fever? A cough? Do your part and stay home until you are well again.
If your symptoms are more significant, call your doctor.
Don't drive to the emergency room or show up at your doctor's office.
Without an appointment, that can spread the virus.
In addition to social distancing, avoid crowds.
Even small groups of people can increase the risk of spreading COVID-19.
We know it's hard, but we all need to do our part to stop the spread.
You can get outside and enjoy the parks. There are plenty of trails that are open.
And provide plenty of space for social distancing.
You can call, text, or
chat with friends and loved ones.
Hi, Grandma.
You can put together a puzzle.
Or start your spring cleanup.
Or just catch up on Netflix.
We can all do our part to stop the spread of COVID-19.
All right, thank you very much, Steve Kaplan and all of those around West Bloomfield. Dave Scott here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Governor is holding a press conference. Let's join her. She just started seconds ago.
As you can see in this graph, as of Tuesday, Wayne County had the 7th highest number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the United States. Michigan is currently ranked 5th in the nation with confirmed cases of COVID-19. This is a novel virus. It is incredibly contagious and deadly. There is no cure and there is no vaccine. And we have too few tests and masks and gloves and swabs and gowns for our medical providers. The only tool we have to fight this and to support our healthcare system is to stay home. When we do, we save lives. That is how we will start to slow the spread of COVID-19. That's how we shorten the time that we will be fighting this crisis. Stopping the spread is really the only tool we have right now to keep our communities safe. That's why I signed the Stay Home, Stay Safe executive order on Monday to close non-critical businesses and to keep Michiganders in their homes where they are safest. Of course, there are a few exceptions, but it's important that people know this order is optional. It is not a recommendation. And it doesn't mean inviting 10 of your closest friends over for dinner or hosting a party at your house. It means staying home with the people with whom you live. It means when you do need to run to the grocery store or the pharmacy, that you observe the 6-foot distance between others so that you keep yourself safe and everyone else. We must all be smart for our families, for our neighbors, and for ourselves. If we don't all do our part, more people are going to get sick and more people are going to die. And this will go on longer than it needs to. The stay-home order is an aggressive measure to keep the most people we can safe in Michigan. It is the most aggressive of any state in the country, and it will save lives, but it depends on you doing your part. Now, I'm continuing to do everything in my power to help Michiganders through this. This is a tough time. I get it. This week, I have signed a number of executive orders. Executive Order the 22nd, 2020-22 extends to complete the canvass of the March 10th primary to April 24th. Executive Order 2020-23 temporarily allows administrative hearings to be held by video or phone, and temporarily allows e-signatures in place of written signatures on relative documents. Executive Order 2020-24 clarifies how the expansion of eligibility for unemployment benefits during COVID-19 will work. Executive Order 2020-25 allows pharmacists to dispense emergency refills of prescription drugs for up to 60 days worth of supply for patients and requires insurers to cover them during the COVID-19 pandemic. And today I sent a request to the President for a major disaster declaration. If granted in full, among other things, this will help us provide meals to families who need them. It would help us provide rental assistance and temporary housing to families. It would help us provide counseling and therapy for our residents whose mental health is affected by COVID-19, whether they or a loved one gets sick or hospitalized. It would also provide much needed additional capacity in our state in the event we need to up field hospitals or other facilities. I'm hopeful that the President will grant my request for major disaster declaration in full and within a matter of days so we can provide more services to Michiganders who need them. And I'm working to secure medical supplies and personal protective equipment for our state. The federal government has told governors across the country that they're prepared and able to meet our needs, and so we need to work to procure items. To put a finer point on that, we've gotten a shipment from the federal government's strategic national stockpile. The allotment of PPE, the personal protection equipment, allocated for one of our hospitals was not enough to cover a full shift. Not even a full day, but wasn't enough to cover a full shift. This is how serious the situation is. This one hospital got 747 N95 masks, 204 gowns, 40,467 gloves, and 64 face shields. With the exception of the gloves, that allotment of PPE didn't cover one shift. And as jarring as the messages that we got from the White House, we took it seriously and have been working 24/7 to procure items. So far, we have secured 13 million masks, 226,000 surgical masks, 35,000 hospital gowns, more than 4 million gloves, nearly 100,000 face shields, 250 beds, and thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer. We've done this by making deals with companies outside of Michigan and working with great Michiganders and Michigan businesses to meet this need. And I want to make sure that they know how grateful we are. These shipments come in as planned. It's good. It's definitely something that is helpful, but it is still not nearly enough to meet our need. Now is the most crucial time for us all to do our part. This week, I called on Michiganders and businesses to donate any needed items that they might have to their local hospitals and medical providers. Right now, medical professionals across the state have no choice but to reuse face masks. This increases the risk of spreading COVID-19 during a time when we should be doing everything we can to mitigate it. We are still making these efforts 24/7 to procure things, and I am still pushing and hoping the federal government can ramp up so we have the tests and equipment that we need. The third most important thing we can do is observe the stay-home order. This disease cannot spread if we are not together. I want to thank a number of businesses that have stepped up and helped to meet our needs. Ford, GM, and FCA have all selflessly worked to provide their expertise, their properties, and manufacturing capacity to assist Michigan and the country in addressing the shortage of PPE, respirators, and ventilators. Each has also joined with other Michigan companies and workers in the sacrifice needed to fight and stem the increase of COVID-19 here in Michigan. FCA has announced plans to produce masks for first responders and healthcare professionals. They've already donated N95 masks to Detroit Receiving Hospital and hospitals in Indiana and Ohio. Ford has partnered with GE to redesign and make ventilators to support patients with respiratory failure and difficulty breathing. And they're targeting production of 100,000 simple plastic face shields every week at the Troy Design and Manufacturing in Plymouth. GM has partnered with Ventec Life Systems to substantially of critically needed care products and have donated over 10,000 masks to Michigan hospitals. Coppercraft Distillery in Holland, Mammoth Distilling in Traverse City have been producing hand sanitizer, as have other great Michigan businesses. We want them to know how grateful we are. I'm hopeful that other Michiganders and Michigan businesses will be able to pitch in. The items we need most are hospital gowns, ventilators, sanitizer, the hand sanitizer and wipes, gloves, surgical masks, masks that are the N95 to N100, no-touch thermometers. Donations can be directed to the Michigan Community Service Commission at COVID-19 donation, michigan.gov, or 517-335-4295. There are other ways that people can help. Donate to your local food bank. Go online. Donate blood if you're able. Call the Red Cross and make an appointment. Call 211 to see how you might be able to help someone in need. And retrofit machinery to make sanitizer or gowns or face shields. As I've said before, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Michiganders are tough. We have grit and we've been through hard times together. We take care of each other. It's the great state for the people who call it home. Whether it's by staying home, whether it's by donating money to one of these causes, or food or water to your community food bank, or giving blood, or collective contributions, they will get us through. This crisis is scary and at times uncertain. But I can tell you, I have seen good people across the state who are moving forward and doing their part. Please do your part so their work is not in vain and made more dangerous. Volunteers who pass out food to families, healthcare workers on the front lines, the clerks at the grocery store who are working incredibly hard to keep those shelves stocked so when you show up for food, that it's there. Parents who are helping their kids manage through, and teachers who are still taking time to read and reach out to their students in creative ways. Yesterday, I posted on social media and asked to hear about teachers who are going above and beyond for their students during this crisis. I received thousands of responses. Teachers who are getting on staff-wide telemeetings to plan how to best support their students. Teachers who are reaching out to let their kids know how much they miss them. Teachers that are recording themselves reading books and sending them to their students to keep them engaged. Inspiring others by snapping a picture or capturing a video of how you are doing your part, and use hashtag #DoingMiPart, doing my part. When we embody that spirit, we can bend this curve. We can save our healthcare system and we can protect one another and get through this crisis together. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Janae Caldu.
Thank you, Governor Whitmer. As the governor mentioned, we have reached a pivotal time in the state when it comes to the COVID-19 outbreak. We are seeing exponential growth in cases, primarily in southeastern Michigan. As of yesterday, as the governor mentioned, Michigan had 2,295 confirmed cases, and we also know of at least 43 deaths. We know that many of our hospitals, particularly in southeast Michigan, are at or near capacity. Intensive care units are full and emergency departments are overloaded. The only way we're going to be able to effectively handle this outbreak is by coming together and coordinating our healthcare resources as a state. We have thus started implementation of the COVID-19 statewide load balancing plan for our hospitals. This is something that we announced just last night. Hospitals outside of Southeast Michigan are being asked to serve as relief hospitals, offering 10% of their usual bed capacity to accept patients from other hospitals that are currently overwhelmed with critically ill COVID-19 patients. We already have hospitals who are stepping up to be a relief hospital and are starting this process. As we continue to monitor the outbreak and hospital capacity across the state, we will remain flexible so that every community has the healthcare resources that it needs to address the spread. We are incredibly lucky, and I've spoken to many hospital CEOs, to have really strong hospital leadership in Michigan. They have been great partners in the COVID-19 response, and we will continue to support them as their teams battle this disease on the front lines. We also know we may need to use alternative sites outside of the usual hospitals to care for patients who may have COVID-19. We don't at this time have details on those alternative sites. However, we are actively working with our state leaders on developing and implementing plans for these sites should we need them. We also need, as the governor mentioned, to increase our ability to test in the state, and we've been working diligently with our partners to expand this testing capacity. Our latest data shows that we have run at least 9,100 samples across the state as of yesterday, and that includes our state lab, our hospital labs, and our private lab partners. We also have additional hospitals coming on board to be able to test every week. And we also know there are several local leaders who are stepping up and developing additional testing sites so that people are able to get a test easily without having to go to an emergency department. We are confident that testing in the appropriate manner will be able to give the state a better understanding of who has the disease so that we can slow the spread as much as possible. We're still in the upslope when it comes to the spread of COVID-19 in Michigan. We are doing everything we can to make sure people stay at home as much as possible, that our hospitals get the resources that they need, and that we most importantly protect our most vulnerable from becoming ill. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Governor Whitmer.
Okay, so happy to open it up for questions.
Governor, you said last night that Michigan is nowhere near the apex of this. When are you projecting Michigan's cases will hit that apex, and what kind of modeling do you have?
So, I'm not the doctor at this table. I'm going to hand part of this question over to Dr. Khaldun, but I think what you can see here is how quickly and exponential growth we're seeing here in Michigan. The fact of the matter is it's going to continue to go along these lines. We are a few weeks behind where what we're seeing play out in other states. The order that I issued on Monday will take a little while before we see the impact of it. COVID-19 is highly contagious. It can last, and you can not even know you're carrying it for a couple of weeks or up to a couple of weeks. And that's why we continue to see the numbers increase. As our testing capabilities get better as well, we are actually detecting it more frequently, and that's a component of why you'll see the numbers continue to increase. I wanted people to be very clear-headed that where we are headed right now. And that's why in order for us to reach a point where it starts to level off and decrease, everyone has to do their part. This disease cannot spread if we're not out and about. The best tool that we have with a novel virus that is highly contagious, that is deadly and has no cure and no vaccine, is our ability to slow this distancing that we have led the nation on in a lot of regards. I don't know, Dr. Khaldun, we do have some models. The inherent problem with some of the models is there's just not a lot of data because there's not robust testing. But we do have brilliant people in the state of Michigan who have put together some models, and Dr. Khaldun can share a little bit more of what the small pieces of information that we're able to.
Absolutely. So the governor is right. As we improve our testing and get more targeted with our testing, meaning, quite frankly, testing the people that are actually more likely to have the disease, our model will get better. So we're working with the University of Michigan and some other private partners to get better ideas on when we may hit that apex, as you said. Right now, we're probably a few weeks out from meeting that apex. But again, it all depends on what everyone does. If we do appropriate social distancing and people listen to the governor's executive orders, we will be able to flatten that curve. And so we will be working with our partners to get better models as far as what that's going to look like for Michigan.
Governor, you faced some criticism for not declaring or asking for the emergency declaration from the federal government earlier. Why did you wait so long? What does that, if accepted and approved, what does that bring into the state?
Well, a good couple of questions, Mackenzie. First of all, it's really important that we get these requests to Washington right. The benefit of watching and seeing how other states have done it is we know what they have been able to procure and what they haven't been able to. Unfortunately, it hasn't inured to a lot of help from the federal government getting everything that is in the scope of these requests. And that's why we wanted to make sure that we wrote ours in a way that learned from other states, frankly. Number two, it is, we are working 24/7. And moving forward and talking with all of our experts, we knew that our best energies were first and foremost doing everything we could to mitigate community spread. The request to the federal government, whether it's a request to FEMA and our national stockpile allotment, or it is a request for a declaration amongst, as a disaster, are important pieces. But right now we know that our actions to get people in Michigan to stop communicating this disease amongst each other was the highest priority, and that's where we spent our energy. And I think that's the thing that we know. When there aren't enough masks at the federal government, there aren't enough gloves, and there aren't enough tests, that the best thing we can do is to mitigate spread through interaction, and that's why we spent all of our energies in that part first.
Can either or both of you outline how this load balancing system is going to work among the hospitals? So if someone would ordinarily be going to, say, something in the Beaumont system, how is it going to be determined where they get sent to based on where they live and so forth?
Dr. Caldoun will help answer that one.
Yes, absolutely. So we already have a really strong regional healthcare coalition system across the state. They've been meeting for decades, and it really works well. So right now, they are, as part of those healthcare coalitions, going to be identifying at a particular hospital what patients could potentially be transferred. They will work through the normal transfer process as far as needing an accepting physician, and then we will be coordinating as far as where those patients go and making sure we are offloading in the best way possible.
You mentioned working with some other off-sites, field hospitals and things like that. Can you name some potential sites that are being discussed right now?
Well, we know that the most important thing is that we've got bed capacity. So as we work to ramp up and working with our hospitals to prepare for surge, we are looking for additional that is adjacent or close to a hospital. And so I don't know that there's a lot to share in terms of specifics at this juncture. The Army Corps has told us it takes 3 to 4 weeks to set up one of these hospitals. We are trying to get it done in a lot less than that. The urgency is real. The situation is getting more serious by the day. We would anticipate to see additional cases today, and sadly more people losing their battle with COVID-19. And so we are really putting as much pressure as we can on the Army Corps to make sure that we're moving as swiftly as we possibly can and working with our partners. Mayor Duggan's been helpful in the city of Detroit in terms of trying to identify where we would have a really an option that made sense. Anything to add, Dr.
Nope,
J? No? Okay.
Governor, you discussed the many things that are being done to try to get PPE to the doctors and nurses and others. A very good friend of mine who's an ICU doc, what he's wondering is, when are they actually going to see it? When is it going to arrive? Can you provide some projection or assurance on that?
Well, I think part of the struggle that we've had, Zach, is, here we go. So ordinarily in a crisis that is like a geographic one, everyone pitches in and helps each other out. We send, when there's a hurricane that happens, you see lots of Michiganders go down and help, and that happens across the country. With a pandemic that is hitting every single one of our states, our ability to meet the need is severely compromised. And when the national stockpile is not able to meet our needs, and we are told to go find it on our own, we have to become a procurement agency unlike any that's ever been created. We know that of the contracts that we've been able to secure, we're lucky, we're ahead of where a lot of other states are, and Governor Pritzker in Illinois said, we're bidding against one another, that this is the Wild West, I think is how he phrased it. The fact of the matter is, we as Americans shouldn't be bidding against one another. We should be able to harness the federal power to ensure that everyone's got what they need. That's not happened, and so we are in this position. My hope is that all of these deals we've made come to fruition. But what we have seen is some suppliers have said, oh, now we got to send them to the federal government. We can't fulfill your needs. This is a reality that we're confronted with, and that's why the more we can produce, the more that we can find here in Michigan, the better for Michigan hospitals and Michigan doctors like your friend who is a doctor in the ICU. This is a moment that we've seen play out around the globe, and I do still believe that, you know, we as a nation, we're not as prepared as we should have been. I think the cuts to the CDC, the attack on healthcare generally, the evisceration of the pandemic offices across the country have put us in a position where we are behind the 8 ball. And that's why this is important, but there's no guarantee that every one of these comes into Michigan and that gets there. But we are hopeful, we are pushing, we're going to continue to try to provide things here within the state and hold these partners accountable and make sure that they get in there. So your friend doesn't have to reuse masks like we see some doctors are having to do right now.
Governor, we're taking a lot of questions about schools. Teachers, parents, kids don't really know what to do and what's going on. Do you have any plans for any orders or working with the legislature to allow for credit for schools that are doing online learning right now? What's going to happen to these kids when they move on to the next grade? Is there a timeline of it's too late to reopen at this point? Where are we at?
So, you know, one of the things that is very clear is while the powers of the executive office are immense, especially in times like these, I cannot unilaterally address the issue around the education of our kids. So we are working. We've had a lot of meetings with the legislature, with the Michigan Department of Education, with our experts on the front line, superintendents and teachers, to make sure that we have a thoughtful solution. We know that the capacity for our schools to meet the needs of our children is different based on the district, based on resources. We've got to have an equitable solution that meets the needs of our children and that we can communicate as a group who all has a stake in defining what it looks like and a role to play in that process. So it does take a little bit longer than I know any parent would like and any teacher and any administrator, but we got to get it. We are well underway in those conversations, and I would hope to have something to communicate in the next week or so. But at this juncture, we're week 2 into what we know is at the very least a 4-week hiatus from school. And you know, as we see things play out, we're making decisions based on what's in the best interest and health of our kids, and we're dividing a solution that's in the best educational aspect for our kids too.
Governor, have there been any enforcement actions on your stay-at-home order yet? As I'm sure you're seeing and hearing, there's a lot of folks wondering if they're essential, non-essential. So I guess first would be any enforcement actions yet, and then do you plan any clarification kinds of orders to clarify who's essential and not?
So a couple of things. First, you know, the vast majority of businesses are doing the right thing. These orders, while there may be some areas of uncertainty, they're pretty clear. If you're not a life-sustaining entity, you should not be out and about. You should be home, and your employees should be home. The vast majority of businesses are doing that. There are some that I am concerned aren't clear, and we're working to make sure that they understand. But if you're a landscaper, if you are a florist, if you are, home construction, none of those is a life-sustaining business that should be open. There are opportunities for each of them to manage their inventory so that they don't lose their inventory. For instance, the florist can go in and water their plants. But if you're not a life-sustaining business, you're in violation of the law and you're needlessly exposing your employees to COVID-19. You're needlessly endangering our communities by putting more pressure on a healthcare system that is very close to the maximum already. And you're risking your business license and fines. So I would encourage any business that is not sure if they're life-sustaining to probably assume that they're not. If you don't know, if you're responsible for people keeping their lights on, getting their prescription drugs, food to feed their family, then the odds are that you're out of compliance to work and that you're exposing needlessly your employees. So we want to encourage businesses not to play fast and loose with the rules, but to do the right thing. And I think for the most part, people are.
Any enforcement actions so far?
As I mentioned, we are getting lots of reports from across the state. employees who are scared, who feel like, you know, their business is not an essential and are asking for assistance. And so, you know, I don't have numbers to report right now, frankly, but we are monitoring it and we take it very seriously. This is a public health crisis that we have. The more porous the policy, the longer we're going to be doing this, the more people are going to die, and the more likely our healthcare system cannot meet the needs of people. And it's not just COVID-19 patients. If you get a heart attack, you need to be able to get to a hospital and get treatment. And if that hospital is overtaxed and has too few beds and too few masks, that jeopardizes your health. If you're a pregnant woman who is anticipating having to give birth, you're going to rely on a hospital situation or a midwife and possibly need medical services. Every one of us has a huge stake in us being able to do this, and that's why anyone who is not life-sustaining essential business should not be exposing their employees or their business to that kind of potential.
Governor, the other day, the president said he wants to keep the economy open on Easter. That's April 12th. Some of these executive orders go through April 13th. Do you anticipate extending some of them?
Well, first and foremost, you know, I think that we have to take our guidance from epidemiologists, from the best minds in science before we make decisions about when it is okay to start congregating again. I think as we've seen other countries go through COVID-19 and then just resume life as though nothing changed, and we see it spike back up, we know that we have to be very smart and thoughtful and careful about what it looks like when we do begin to start to re-engage in a number of ways. With regard to an extension of the orders, you know, the powers of this office are real, they are sweeping. I take it very seriously. Each decision weighs heavily on me. Each decision is always going to be guided by medical advice. You know, Dr. Khaldoun has been incredible. We also have medical experts across the country with whom we've consulted to make sure that we are doing all of the right things here in Michigan to mitigate how many people are hurt and impacted by this COVID-19. And so as we get a little closer to those dates, we'll probably have more data, more counsel. We'll know what is happening here in Michigan. We'll have a better picture, and we'll be able to make better decisions as we get closer to those dates.
Can you assess the situation in Detroit? The numbers there seem very alarming. 30-some% of the cases, even though it's roughly 7% of the state's population. The per, I think, 100 there is as high as almost any other place. How much of it seems like there's a growing concern. This isn't just good test, you know, ramping up of testing, but real significant spread. Can either both of you assess the situation there?
I mean, I would just say, you know, like big cities everywhere, people live closer together. People end up, you know, spending more time in close quarters together. That's how the disease spreads. You know, I'm not the physician sitting here at this table, and I'll let Dr. J weigh in a little bit more, but I mean, it is very clear, and that's why, you know, it should be common sense that we know if we all kept our distance. Scientists are telling us this would sputter to a halt if everyone froze where they are for 14 days. The fact of the matter is, more interaction is more spread, and the closer people live together, the more spread, and that's what happens in big cities across this country, around the globe. I'm sure there's a better epidemiological way to explain that too, so I'll hand it off to Dr. Khaldoun.
Thank you, Governor. And you know, I used to be the Detroit Health Director, and I can tell you part of what we're seeing in Detroit is that there's such a high number of individuals who have those underlying conditions, who have the diabetes and the heart disease, who may have obesity. And so what you're seeing now, you have really generations of concentrated poverty and what we call those social determinants of health that impact a place like a city like Detroit. When you have pandemics like this, it's going to hit those places harder. And not just from the health perspective, but when you talk about even the economic and other things, people not having access to transportation, able to get food, the schools, it all is really much harder for the reasons I said.
Perhaps a question for Dr. Khaldoun again. Looking at recovered patients and the numbers, as we start to get more numbers from testing negative and
So we are working actively. Just talked to my team this morning. We want that data to get out. We want to be transparent, but we also want it to be accurate. And so we've been working with our hospitals. Director Gordon, Director of Health and Human Services, issued an order for hospitals to actually give that information to us so we can accurately report it. So we expect it to be coming more and more every day, and we want to get that out to the public. As we get more people tested and they recover, we will incorporate that, but it's really so early that we don't have an accurate number of people who have recovered.
All right, well, there you have it. Governor Gretchen Whitmer answering questions of the media. She's wrapping up right now, and we're going to wrap up as well with her. I'm sorry about a couple of little difficulties with the live stream from Lansing today, but for the most part, we were able to get that for you, and we thank you for tuning in. And the governor today saying that Michigan is the 5th state in the United States with documented cases. You don't always want to be in the top 5. This is definitely one of those times. And then we heard from Chief Flynn here locally earlier today saying that the coronavirus, again, affirming the coronavirus is here in West Bloomfield. We know that southeastern Michigan is a bigger problem than the rest of the state. Oakland County certainly a big part of that. Governor saying that relief hospitals outside of Metro Detroit in communities where there's not as much stress on those systems will be a big part of what we're going to do forward, and they're going to try to get some of the relief that we are looking for in the hospitals in Metro Detroit that are overwhelmed from some of the outstate hospitals are working on a program there. Governor reminding everybody that her order is not optional. She a little critical at the beginning of the broadcast to people that might be gathering in homes, and she said you're not supposed to be having a dinner party for 10 right now. Follow the order. She was asked by a reporter during the reporter section there at the end of the press conference if there have been any enforcement actions that she's been aware of, and she didn't have any details on that. We've talked to our local law enforcement, John Fitzgerald, the chief in Keego, and the other law enforcement officers here in our area, and they're saying they're doing the very best they can to implement the governor's order, but we're not taking anybody to jail if you're playing on a playground swing set and you shouldn't be, and an officer happens to see you. They're gonna do what they can to persuade you to do something else with your time. So hopefully you'll be able to stay polite like that. In the state of Michigan, we have 2,295 cases. There have tragically been 43 deaths so far. So we basically, that's the word from the governor. No big new proclamation today. She did say that she has asked President Trump and national authorities for a major disaster declaration for the state of Michigan. That request is going in, and then we'll see what the federal government does about that, trying to get more help, more assistance, more relief for us here in Michigan. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We've got a number of guests lined up. We're going to talk about lunch. It's lunchtime, and we have the Carry Out Club here at Civic Center TV. We'll find out how it's going around our local community, getting a bite to eat in a safe way. That and more coming up. I'm Dave Scott. He's Tyler Keefe. We'll be back in just a moment. You are joining us here on the Megacast on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and we want to thank the West Bloomfield Police Department for broadcasting this today on their Facebook channel. We'll be right back.
89.3 Lakes FM is your home for the latest news updates regarding COVID-19 in West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Megacast is live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, where our own Dave Scott talks with locals ranging from business owners to municipal personalities. To tune in to the Megacast, listen on 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com, or watch on Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, and on the web at civiccentertv.com, keeping you connected in West Bloomfield during the coronavirus outbreak. 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hi, I'm Tyler Keefe from 89.3 Lakes FM with important information regarding bridging the technology gap in our community. Comcast recently announced expanded eligibility for its special program called Internet Essentials. Internet Essentials offers 15 megabit per second downstream, 2 megabit per second broadband upstream service, including home Wi-Fi, to low-income households at a monthly rate of $9.95 plus tax. Additionally, Internet Essentials offers the option to purchase an internet-ready computer from Comcast for $150 for these families. With the expansion of this program, Comcast will help an additional 3 million low-income households overcome internet inequality and have access to modern essentials such as news outlets, job search and application websites, email, and much more. Learn more about how Comcast's Internet Essentials program can help your family or others and how you can help bridge the technology gap by visiting InternetEssentials.com or calling 1-855-8-INTERNET. That's 1-855-846-8376. This is a public service announcement from Comcast, the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hello, welcome back to the Megacast. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe here in our Lakes FM studios. We are live at lakesfm.com, Lakes FM 89.3 on Civic Center TV, and that is on Channel 15 on Comcast and Channel 99 on AT&T. And we want to again thank the West Bloomfield Police Department today for allowing us to be with you on Facebook, on the West Bloomfield Police Department Facebook page. 6,000 followers, Tyler Keefe, there in the Police Department Facebook, and that is absolutely fantastic. So we had, I think, over 1,000 people watch us last time we were on the police department page. You're doing a great job at the police department, and we thank them very much for allowing us to be with them. So we have a program. It is called the Carry Out Club, and you can go to our website, and you'll find a number of carry-out restaurants all around West Bloomfield. These are restaurants that are making it easy for you to grab a bite in a very safe way, and we're doing all we can to connect restaurants and you together at this challenging time for businesses. Joining us via Zoom right now from the Grill in Sylvan Lake is Vicki Kirker. Do I pronounce your last name for me, Vicki?
Kher.
Kirker.
Kirker.
Kirker. Wasn't that hard? It just, multiple syllable words for me. It just seems so hard. Vicki Kirker, thank you very much for joining us. We see you now on Civic Center TV from the Grill in Sylvan Lake. Clearly, no one in your restaurant. That's got to be a little bit challenging, but we're all going through these times. How you doing there at your restaurant, Vicki?
We're doing okay. I mean, we're doing carryouts and we're doing deliveries, and that, just trying to keep ourselves going. Everybody's afraid. I mean, fear is gripping everyone. And for some reason, so many people think that you can get this disease at restaurants. You won't get it any easier here than you would at a grocery store. I mean, we take extra precautions to make sure you're safe. Always clean, gloved hands, doing everything.
Well, that's a really good point. And, I think someday we'll go back and look at the governor's orders on this and decide, maybe have a conversation, a little debate at whether this is the right approach or not. But for right now, we do have an order from the governor, and she said, we're not going to go into restaurants, but we are doing carry out. So we're kind of, dealing with what we got here right now, and I know you are as well. Do you have a lot of people that are coming and taking advantage of your carry out services, and how's that going?
Some days more than others. I would say we're down about 95% of our sales. So, but we are getting a little bit, and we appreciate everyone that's coming in. It keeps us able to employ a couple people, and that's huge. We're just trying to stay in there.
All right. Well, I know it's really tough. I own a small business, too. I totally get it. I know it's very tough. Our business is way off. Your business is way off. We're all doing what we can to get through it. So we have this thing called the Carry Out Club. We're doing what we can to help out people just like you and to get your business connected with people in the area. So we're really glad that you're joining us today. I'm going real quickly to Google because I got a link here. We do not have you up on our website, but we will shortly. And people can come to the Grill in Sylvan Lake and get carry out. Tell us a little bit about the fine cuisine at your wonderful establishment.
Well, we are famous for our potato crusted walleye. We have the best ribs in town, voted the best, but mostly by me. We have interesting take on Mexican foods. We make several of our own tacos that people love. The nachos, our lasagna, eggplant parmesan. we have a pretty varied menu. We have great burgers, so a little bit of everything. So for anyone.
All right, well, I'm going to come by. I can't do it today, but I want to come by, do some carry out. We'll call you and make all the arrangements. So as people are coming to carry out to the grill in Sylvan Lake, do they wait outside? Are they coming in? Different places are handling it differently. How are you handling it there?
Well, we do it both ways. We ask our customers what they would prefer. They can come in to pick up their carry out. Some customers prefer curbside, and we also offer delivery, kind of Amazon style, where we take your order, you pay for it now, we go to your house, we ring your doorbell, and we leave the food. And that way there's absolutely no human interaction.
I know a lot of people are really comfortable with that scenario, and it's really nice that that you're doing that. Vicki, how you feeling? You doing okay? Your employees, are you guys all feeling okay?
We're doing pretty good. We're, just like everyone else, we're getting used to this now, and it's a new way to do business, but if you're in this industry, you always have to go with the flow.
All right, Vicki, well, hang in there. You and I have the exact same job probably to do today. After we take care of our customers, we got to go read some 500-page document from the federal government, see what bill they're passing today, and hopefully it'll help us keep some of our employees working, and we'll find some solutions to see if we can get through the next couple of months. So it's good that I was so frustrated, you probably were too, just to see all the arguments going on in Congress. Forget whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, but looks like they're going to get that worked out for us maybe by tomorrow, and hopefully there'll be some relief for businesses just like yours. Are you optimistic that we're going to have something in a couple of days?
I am optimistic. I think our federal government is working as hard as they can on the behalf of the people right now. That's all that matters.
Vicki, there's one other person who's working really hard on behalf of the people, and I don't know if you've met him in person, but we're going to go to him right now. Thank you for joining us here on the Megacast. We'll send people out to you, and I will stop by and see you. I might have to meet you through the glass, but we'll get a chance to meet soon, so thank you. But Captain Geoff, who's running our carry-out club, is standing by via Skype. Let's see if we can get Captain Geoff in there. Look at Captain Geoff right there. How you doing, Captain Geoff?
Doing good, Dave. How you doing, Dave and Tyler? How you guys doing?
We're doing good. I love the helmet. You decorated the helmet up even a little bit better today. I love it.
Oh, yes. I want to let everybody know that I am anti-corona 100% of the way.
All right, so you're working with all these restaurants. You're doing a good job. You look fantastic. We're going to get off your picture here for just a moment, and we're going to go out to the Carry Out Club listings. Let's go through them real quick. Ellen's Bakery and Cafe. Ellen's Bakery and Cafe. I've clicked on the link here. Anything you want to add about them real quick?
Yeah, so I was looking at Ellen's today, and I want everybody to know that breakfast is also available. Don't forget about your pastries and your coffee. There's a lot of good food out there. I want everybody to know, too, to make sure they contact us at Geoff, Geoff, at MotownDigital.com. Reach out. I will put your name up there. I think we have 22 restaurants up there right now. So you want to keep on going that strong the next few days.
All right, we're going to go through them. I'm going to read the restaurants. If you want to add anything about one of these restaurants or any of them along the way, just interrupt and let me know. It won't really be an interruption, but I'm just going to go through. We're on the webpage right now. So we have, and I promised all the restaurants we would mention them every day. So here we go. This is kind of like old-time radio before the internet when they closed the schools on a snow day. You know, you get the list of every school. Here comes our list of restaurants, but I think this is helpful. Ellen's Bakery and Cafe, Bellacino's Pizza and Grinder in Sylvan Lake, Philo Fresh in Keego Harbor, Indo in Keego. What do you know about Indo, Geoff?
Indo is Indonesian food. So they got a lot of good spices, curries. I'm all about it. Their meal looks delicious. So every time I look at their menu, it makes me hungry.
They're also our Facebook partner tomorrow.
All right, so we're going to have them. We're going to be streaming them on Facebook tomorrow. That's excellent. Yeah. Romana's Carry Out and Catering. I was there the other day dropping some stuff off. They're locked up pretty tight there. When you go there, there's a sign in the door. It says, call us, and they'll bring the food out. I totally get that, but they're making it work. Loya Organic Mediterranean Grill in West Bloomfield and Orchard Lake. Chinatown on Orchard Lake Road. The Honey And that's good. I didn't think about the Honey Baked Ham Company. The Honey Baked Ham Company over there at 14 and Farmington, and they're in the mall there with the grocery store, right? Yeah. Okay. And they have sandwiches and stuff, so you can get carry out. Honey Baked Ham, are you kidding me? Yum. Talk about yum. Crispelli's Bakery and Pizza. And I think they're another one of the restaurants, Jeff, that's looking more for kind of a curbside delivery than coming inside.
Yeah, that's correct, Dave. Crispelli's is all about curbside. You just give them a call, they'll come out, and they will drop that to you right away.
All right, smash.
Make sure
Go ahead.
Listening, make sure you bring a card if you're doing curbside delivery, because that's going to make it a lot easier for you.
All right, Smash Burger right across the street there on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. Chefs for Seniors, Northwest Detroit suburbs. What's that all about, Jeff?
So Chefs for Seniors is pretty important. These guys provide meals like up to a week at a time in about 2 hours. They usually would go to your home and prep them in home, but because of the situation, they're not doing that. They have an industrial kitchen they're working from, but they are still up and operational. So if you are a senior and you are looking for safe and clean meals for at least a week at a time, give them a call. Make sure you call them.
So they'll prep the meals, drop it off, and you're set for a week.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Awesome. I've had the camera on me, not on the website. I apologize, everybody. Gino's Pizzeria and Restaurant. I mean, we all know about Gino's in Keego Harbor. Great pizza, really. I mean, great pizza. And who wants to be without a Gino's Pizza for a couple of more weeks, right? Sora Korean Restaurant on Orchard Lake Road. I don't know if you have anything to add about them. I've not dined there, but if you love Korean, there you go, is an option for you. The Red Coat Tavern, well-known, location on Woodward, location on Orchard Lake Road here in West Bloomfield, and you can get great carry-out. I like, when the weather is nice, and it's summertime, I love having a salad at Red Coat right out there in their front deck, their front porch there. But I imagine you get a carry out and it'd be just fine. Jersey Bagel Deli and Grill, great deli. I'd never been there before, but really good. We got carry out from them the other day. They're at 14 in Farmington. The Tequila Achille Mexican Grill. Did I say that right? Achille. El Chile. And Tyler, help me out here. El Chile. All right. Mexican Grill. Really good Mexican food. This place is great. Bistro La Bliss. I try them. Oh, they're fantastic. French at Maple and Orchard Lake Road. The classic Harbor Steakhouse. It's been around. I mean, I grew up in West Bloomfield. It's been out there at Orchard Lake Road right before the curve as you're going into Keego forever. Great steaks, really good food, and you can take one of those home. Al O'Mara, you guys all had lunch there the other day. We brought it back here, and their food seemed to go really quick when you brought it back here, Captain Geoff.
Yeah, it went really quick. I still have that chicken shawarma in my mind. So,
Of course, the Lodge Grill and Bar in Keego, right on Orchard Lake Road in quote-unquote downtown Keego, are they open for lunch and dinner or just lunch? Or rather, just dinner right now?
I believe they're lunch and dinner, but I think they open around 11, so let's call it a late lunch.
All right, Leo's Coney Island, we did that the other day, and of course the world-famous Stage Deli in West Bloomfield. These are the members of our Carry Out Club. If you want more information, just go to civiccentertv.com and then hit the link Carry Out Club. We encourage you to support these restaurants. Thanks to Suzanne Levine at the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber for helping us work on this. And Jeff, this is Jeff, this is your full-time job now. I mean, and you're embracing it. I love the look. I'm not going to ask what you've got in a water bottle up there in your helmet. I hope it's not noon yet, so I hope you're keeping it professional.
No, very professional, Dave. This is hand sanitizer. I want it quick and easy access wherever I go.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought that was a beverage. Very good. All right. Equipped and safe to fight the coronavirus. All right. Captain, Captain,
Dave.
Good job. Yes.
Thank you. Dave, I got one little thing to say. Today is kind of a special day for me. It's my anniversary, 3 years. And I wanted to do a little something special here real quick while practicing the new norm of social distancing. So here we go. This is Lauren.
Hello, everyone.
Lauren, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do not shake the darling buds of May. Keep away, Corona. Keep away from my lady this day.
Oh,
Nope. 6 feet. 6 feet away. There you go.
Love it.
See, that's why you have a wonderful relationship. What a romantic this guy is. You know, when you expect it with a helmet, and you know,
Thank you.
what a romantic.
That's why he's the captain, Dave.
6-foot tape there.
6 feet.
So,
Oh yes.
All right, we're gonna get you off camera, and you guys can get rid of that tape. Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you.
Great job, Jeff. And you know, hey, look, this is a challenging time, but you got to do it with a smile on your face. And I hope you guys are doing good there at your house. And you're an inspiration for all of us who are, and the many couples and families all around West Bloomfield and all around Metro Detroit and around the country for what you're doing. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to put a cherry on this one as the Megacast continues right here in 89.3 Lakes FM, lakesfm.com, civiccentertv.com, and of course on the West Bloomfield Police Department Facebook page. Back after this.
89.3 Lakes FM is your home for the latest news updates regarding COVID-19 in West Bloomfield. It is also home to the all-new West Bloomfield Megacast, live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. Tune in anywhere on 89.3 Lakes FM or 89.3lakesfm.com. Keeping you connected in West Bloomfield during the coronavirus outbreak. 89.3 Lakes FM.
Each of us have a role to play in stopping the spread of COVID-19. Keeping a distance of at least 6 feet
will slow the community spread of COVID-19. I can help.
I can help.
I can help by washing my hands.
Using warm water and soap for 20 seconds.
And drying my hands with paper towel multiple times throughout the day.
Be sure to cover your cough using your elbow.
In an effort to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose.
Not feeling well?
Have a fever? A cough? Do your part and stay home until you are well again.
If your symptoms are more significant, call your doctor.
Don't drive to the emergency room or show up at your doctor's office.
Without an appointment, that can spread the virus.
In addition to social distancing, avoid crowds.
Even small groups of people can increase the risk of spreading COVID-19.
We know it's hard, but we all need to do our part to stop the spread.
You can get outside and enjoy the parks. There are plenty of trails that are open.
And provide plenty of space for social distancing.
You can call, text, or
chat with friends and loved ones.
Hi, Grandma. You can put together a puzzle.
Or start your spring cleanup.
Or just catch up on Netflix.
We can all do our part to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Thank you for joining us. This is the Megacast. Dave Scott, Tyler Keefe over there. We thank you for joining us on Civic Center TV and on Lakes FM and the West Bloomfield Police Department website. Actually, their Facebook page. We only have a couple of minutes, and we got a ton of things to get to. I'm going to take you around, give you a quick tour of what's on our website here before we say so long, and we'll get to that in a moment. But patiently waiting for the last hour through the governor's press conference is Chad Ever, and Chad is with Ever Studios, joins us via Zoom. Hey, Chad, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
We're doing good. I'm so sorry we ran out of time. Can we reschedule you for tomorrow?
Absolutely. Not a problem at all.
All right, well, first, but I do want to find out how you're doing. You're
My
at
mic
home,
was
right?
off, so I just turned it on.
You're close to us, I assume. I'm getting some audio from somewhere else. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. But you know, this is really confusing here. I think it's oh, I see what's going on. Maybe it's that, or is it that? That's what it is. There we go. Okay, Chad. See, it's never easy doing the online thing, isn't it? We're getting audio still from the governor's press conference. Tell folks what you do real quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a website and advertising agency, but specifically what we are talking about here is we created an online ordering system that is free for Michigan restaurants that have been affected. So, you know, I'm here just to offer that as an option and a solution for businesses.
You know, that is so cool because, see, you're thinking the same thing we're thinking. These restaurants are really having a hard time, and anything we can do to help them is a really good idea. And a lot of the restaurants, they don't have that online system that you've got. So we want to find out all about it tomorrow. You're a good guy. You're right here in West Bloomfield. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep, living right here in West Bloomfield.
All right, you doing okay? Everything all right at your house? Everybody healthy over there?
Yeah, everything's going great. You know, just playing with toys and building phone stands and doing the best we can to take our, pass the time. But things are going great.
All right. Well, thank you for being understanding of our schedule. We will chat with you in length tomorrow and find out what people could do online, and not just about your restaurant program, but this whole online explosion has been absolutely amazing what we're doing. We're Zooming with you on radio and TV as an example, and it's going on all over the place. So thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Yep.
All right. Chad Ever joining us right here on the Megacast. So we only got a couple of minutes. Tyler, tonight we're going to have the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation meeting. That's what we do here. We do meetings, so that'll be via Zoom, as I understand it, correct?
Yes, that will be via Zoom tonight, 7 p.m. Civic Center TV, Comcast 15, AT&T 99, online, civiccentertv.com, and that will replay tomorrow at 1 p.m. after the Megacast.
All right, so another Zoom meeting, and it's really interesting. They seem to be working out pretty well. Yeah. On TV right now, you could see the Civic Center TV website. Let's go through here real quick. A lot of really good information, and Adam and the team, and Adam and Charlie, again, working on this thing full time, have really stepped the game up. First of all, you go to civiccentertv.com. In the right-hand side, you can see our television channel. This program is going to repeat throughout the day. You can see our other programming right there. The best place to watch it, just to maximize that, and then watch it online. It's in full high definition. The coronavirus page. Tons of great information. You'll find out about the testing. We didn't have time to talk about this today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. They're going to start doing testing for everyone in southeastern Michigan at the fairground site on 8 Mile and Woodward. Here's a link to all of that information, when it's happening, how it's going. Here's information about Beaumont offering online assessments for COVID-19. More information about our metropolitan area, which we heard from the governor today, is really the epicenter of COVID-19 in the state of Michigan. A lot more cases here, and it makes sense with the population centered here, but more information about that. Henry Ford Hospital's nearing capacity. That's their headline. West Bloomfield Township, information on the township page. Pure Michigan begins offering virtual tours of popular attractions that you can't go to live and in person. So a lot of other information. Just go through this page. A ton of stuff in here. County, state, local, federal, it's all here, everything you need. And great story. Check this story out, too, about Matt and Kelly Stafford donating meals to people in Oakland County, our first responders. So thanks to everyone who joined us today, in particular John Fitzgerald, the Chief of Police in Keego, and Greg Flynn coming back with, again, more sobering news here in West Bloomfield, Tyler, that the coronavirus is it's continuing to grow right here in Oakland County, and clearly West Bloomfield, Keego, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake.
Yeah, it's continuing to grow, and we're taking steps locally in the township and in the community on a county level and on a state level. So we all just got to continue to do our part to flatten the curve.
All right, before we go, just one more quick reminder. You've got the coronavirus information, a ton. The Megacast, everything about this show is here, and archives of the show. And then when you get ready to go get something to eat, go to the Carry Out Club right here on Civic Center TV, and maybe find a restaurant that you've not tried recently. Thank you for joining us. The whole crew doing a great job. We are running long, so we got to say so long. We'll talk to you soon. The show's going to continue to repeat all day long into the evening and back through tomorrow morning, and then we'll be back here again at 10 o'clock as long as everyone is good and healthy. You have a great day. I'm Dave Scott on behalf of all of our team here at Civic Center TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. You have been listening to and watching the Megacast right here on 89.3 Lakes FM, WBLD Orchard Lake, and, of course, on Civic Center TV, channel 99 on AT&T and Channel 15 on Comcast. And a final thank you to the fine people of the West Bloomfield Police Department for allowing us to broadcast this show on Facebook. Have a great day.